happening again. I was for sure today was Tuesday. It is Wednesday. And it's almost 12 o'clock, so it's basically Thursday. I need help. But I don't know. But I'm going to take my confusion and low-key anger because, well, I'll make a whole pet peeve video. How about that? About why I'm angry and things that piss me off. It's not a lot of things piss me off, like for real in real life, like actually long-lasting make me mad. But I'm going to tell you the ones that do. That's a later video. We're going to be talking about, I wouldn't say hatred, I would say dislike for a show that everyone I feel like likes. I don't like Jujutsu. I can't even say the fucking name of the show, it's also because I'm tired, but Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't like it. Let me open up my confessional. Dear Father, I have to confess, I fell asleep every time I watched that show. Every single time I watched that show, I have fallen asleep. And then rewatched parts 4 and 7 and 12 and 102 times because I just could not stay awake because it was just so boring. I can't. Like, it's not like it's a shitty, terrible show. Like, I can't believe people watch this type thing or that frustrating. It's really just meh at best. I can never say that this show is good to me. It's pretty, but if you don't know me, pretty graphics will get you nowhere if your story is trash for me. The graphics are always like an add-on, in my opinion. Graphics can make something look very pretty, but it doesn't do much for me. As someone who, I guess, grew up and still does love reading books, graphics mean very little to me. The story is the kind of thing that I care about, and this one put me to sleep. It was overhyped. It wasn't kind of what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a really great story. Pretty graphic. Story shitty. Even just going by character, I don't know their names, so sorry if, like, I pay attention to the story, I just don't hold their names. I'm sorry. It's such a problem. Every review I do, I swear I don't know anybody's name. I have to look it up every 5 seconds, so I'm gonna make a description, you know what I mean, of the character so you understand who I'm talking about. We'll go with main character. Pink-haired main character boy. Demon inside him, he ate, boy ate my finger type shit. He's so basic as a main character. Honestly, in my opinion, if you took him out of the show, I wouldn't feel any different. Like, he's just kind of there for people to befriend him. That's what it seems like. He kind of seems like, it does feel like how it, I guess, is portrayed, where he was just kind of forced into this. It doesn't really feel like he's anything different from a version of Naruto and Goku, I guess. And not even in a unique way. I mean, I'm seeing, wasn't it Parasite that did something similar, where boy gets taken over by evil force or whatever and has to learn how to control. Like, I've seen this before, okay? Like, I don't remember his name. I barely remember shit about him. Again, he just seems like perky, optimistic main character, which isn't terrible. It's not a terrible thing. It's just boring as hell. Oh, you have the one girl, another fucking plane.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god!
What is that?
You have the short-haired Bob girl that everybody loves. I hate her. Let me not say I hate her. Let me be a bit more calm about it. I dislike her to a vast degree. She's one of those characters where they want to be a strong, independent woman type character, but she has to announce it every 5. Like, that's how it feels. I'm sure she doesn't. I mean, I've watched it. She doesn't necessarily, but you get that vibe off of her where it feels like the writers of the show are trying to force it. Of like, I'm a strong, independent woman. And I'm like, okay,
I get it. We get it. Like, okay, cool.
You know? And then other than that, again, even her backstory, like, I want to say I remember it, but I don't think I do. Nah, it was boring too. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, and so it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb. It was just about her and this girl, and it,
like, I don't care. Shut up.
And people like her. I like her design. Like, her character design is really pretty. She's really pretty. But like, the whole conversation she had with like the flying witch girl and that whole thing was so stupid and unnecessary. I'm like, stop talking about how the boys are better and fucking fight. Who cares? Is that really what you guys should be worried about when your lives are at stake? That's how fucking, like, that's how petty you think all women are, or at least most of us are, to where we're thinking about that during a battle where we can actually die, where your whole mission is to kill another person. Part of the witch girl's mission was to kill another person, and that's what she's worried about, lecturing some like orange-haired bitch on like women empowered, or not women empowerment, but how women basically should stay in their place, and that's what you're worried about? Really? That's the shit. That's why I don't like her character, because if you're gonna force her into situations like that, it's fucking stupid. That should not be the thing that they're worrying about when they're trying to kill each other. Well, no, they're not really trying to kill each other, but they're trying to kill that one boy, the main character. They're hurting each other, and they're dealing with curses that could kill them and other people, and how. That's what they're worried about. I get that they're teens, but come on, it's not really the time, especially when your mission is to go kill somebody. It's not really the time to sit here and be talking about that type of shit, just so that character can have her moment. Let me tell you a character I guess I did like. I like Maki's character. I wouldn't even say I liked her. She was good, not great, good. It was like, okay, that's interesting, you know, your sister hates you for that. I can understand her resentment. I can understand how she wouldn't like that. It must not be a comfortable thing for her, and she was forced into it. Sure, it wasn't your fault, or it's comped. That's great, but yeah, I can understand that, and I feel pretty good about her whole thing with Maki and her sister. That was pretty interesting, you know. There's actual conflict there. It really wasn't resolved in that moment, or it probably wasn't going to be resolved. She's still going to have some form of resentment towards her sister. I like it. I liked that. That was something I liked. It wasn't great. It was good. It wasn't bad. And then it got to the whole situation with like the Sasuke looking motherfucker. Okay, I should know their names. And that's not a good description, but I think you know who I'm talking about here. His whole character also was just kind of like, he did seem like a Sasuke-esque character, where he was kind of just there to be that contrast or that like friend to the main character. Like, other than that, his powers were pretty cool. I like the whole like he can summon stuff. That's pretty awesome. I think I really like that. I don't think I care much else about him. I think he's kind of like the main character, where he kind of blends into the background low key. And I will say that it was pretty cool what they did with like the panda and whatnot. Like, those parts were kind of really cool. How, you know, you can possess their bodies and have like a whole, like have them have like almost like a consciousness. That was really cool. The way they did that and the way the panda works, and it just is really cool. I'm like, okay, that's pretty decent. I enjoyed that. That's an interesting concept. Domains were kind of interesting, but then again, they're not really unique. It just was called something different, but the domains are just like any other power, so I'm just like, okay, cool. It's not really different too much. It has some principles to it, but like, I've seen this before. This is not like a unique concept. It's just called something unique, and it looks really cool, but but wasn't there like heavenly packs and shit like that? Those are also cool, but like, I feel like I feel like I didn't see enough of them to really care. And even the ones I did see were just kind of like, yeah, you know, I'm asleep now. The Sasuke looking motherfucker and his sister, that whole storyline again put me to sleep. I got very many breaks from my insomnia those nights trying to watch this show. Not even gonna lie.
Best sleep I've ever gotten in my life. I was knocked out. I was feeling great about my life. I am not even joking. Best sleep I've gotten in my life.
Oh yeah, there was also the demon, wasn't there? Honestly, he was such a non-factor. It didn't really matter. Even the other demons, they were plotting something, which I guess kind of adds to it, but honestly, did anybody really care about their plan? I didn't. I mean, I was waiting for it, but I don't know, it didn't seem any different than a regular evil villain plan. Like, I was bored. You know, I didn't really care. I'm sorry. I just didn't give a fuck. I'm sure they're planning something that's diabolic and evil and has something to do with makes main character look great and whatever. I don't see it. And then when I finished it, I was like, wow, I don't care. Like, I don't know. Like, again, it was like, watchable, but I'm tired. Take some Z's. The one storyline with the emo swoop boy, and you know exactly what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. And his mom and that whole storyline with them, that did get somewhat interesting. Like, I remember him, and I was really sad when, you know, he went up to glory. I was so sad. And I actually did have like some interest and hold my attention somewhat, but even then, golly, it was boring. Even some of the fight scenes were actually boring, and I know some people don't share that sentiment because it was visually nice, but it was also visually boring because it was just just like, it's like watching a Dragon Ball Z fight. They're really cool because of the explosions and the stuff people can do. That's cool and all, but it gets boring because of the watching the actual actions being taken. Example would be like the girl with the bob and the witch girl. Their fight was meh, and the reason is because it just was her flying and the girl throwing nails. Doesn't matter how much of a woman empowerment thing that was going on, or I guess for the girl that was what it was, and the other girl that was more of like a stay in the kitchen like type thing. It doesn't matter how much of that was going on, the fight was really boring, and a lot of the fights are kind of like that, where it's just punch, hit, blah, and it's like, it kind of, I don't know. I feel like the best thing that held my interest the entire time was like the fight between Maki and that but I think blue haired girl with the weird bangs thing happening.
Not the banging. The banging.
I liked that fight only because she was explaining a bunch of shit, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know. Aw, okay, that's a cool domain you have, or a cool simple domain, or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, you know. Maki, it was very like, I don't know, calculated. It was just good, and I was like, okay, this, you must keep my interest. But a lot of the fights aren't like that, or they start to like dwindle down after a while. After a while, it's just like, okay, this is just power against power, and although that's really cool, technique also matters in my opinion, and that's the thing that keeps my attention anyways. I can see why this isn't boring, why this isn't the boring top some people, because there are comedy aspects of, and those things I do like the funny moments, the hilarious faces, the attitude of people. Those are nice, but those are fleeting moments, and I'm not really a fleeting moment type of girl. I like a whole character, not just slight defining moments over the course of an entire series. And I mean that is like, oh, this one season has 3 moments, this one season has 4 moments. I'm not looking for those moments entirely, I'm looking for the whole entire package. And for me, with all the characters, the whole entire package is boring as fuck, and it's average as fuck, and I've seen it all before. So when I see the white hair character, I'm like, I see funny guy sometimes, then boring the rest of the time, good looking, but I don't really care. So like, that's why I see when it comes to the funny relatable moments, it's like, haha, and I get it, because those moments do matter in selling the character and making it a bit more palatable and funny and hip to this generation, and the shipping and the beauty and the funnies and all of that, and I get it. I think I've realized, especially nowadays, like, I'm not that type of person. Again, those moments are cool, but like, they get annoying after a while for me. Like, not saying characters can't be funny or comic relief, but like, the whole character is that, and there's more than one of them, or every character has that moment, and it's just like, it gets repetitive. I feel like it just gets boring for me, because it's like, aha, it was funny, okay, back to the other part of the story, or, you know, about everything else, huh? Like, I don't know, like, that's why I'm not into shipping and stuff like that. Like, I ship, but I'm not really into it like that, because that stuff just does not pique my interest, I guess. Again, I'm more of a story-based person, so I just personally just find that shit boring. And even though there are really cool concepts, as well as like the boy who, you know, speaks in sushi, and how his thing is really cool, it's only cool for a fleeting moment. It really is. It's like, okay, that's cool the first time, then you realize that that's not even really that great of a power, or, you know, barely anything that even gets used that much, or like it's used the way you would think it should be used. It's like, okay, alright, cool, alright, that lasted for like an episode, I'm bored now. You know what I'm saying? It was the same thing with the demon guy. It just seems like everything just lasts for like an episode, or like a moment, and it's just done. And even some of the things that don't, it's like that fucking Kakashi wannabe looking motherfucker, like with him, it's like, that's really cool, and you're really cool and strong, and but like, I've seen 500 of you, and to be honest, other than you being pretty, you've done better. And so it's just like, I wanna like you, but I can't, but you have pretty eyes. Everything was quiet a second ago, but as soon as I start waking up, all of a sudden everybody wants to do their task. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the middle of the fucking night, and all of a sudden somebody wants to get up. They're playing games with me, and I don't fuck with it right now. That's why I get irritated and fucking out so easily. I swear to God, I'm gonna blow my fucking brains out. And I think I've been rattling on for a little bit longer than I should. I might have clickbaited this since I hated the show, but it really, if I could really give a good interpretation of my feelings on this show, it was meh NyQuil. Meh, because it was overhyped. It was kind of boring, and it was just kind of having the same tropes and a sticker on them and having pretty animation, which will get you nowhere with me personally. Well, that's the way it felt. Okay, my feelings. And it was NyQuil because I kept falling asleep. Now, maybe later I can maybe enjoy and appreciate how great the show is, but the current moment, sleep. Sleep is how I describe the show. If I need a good dose of sleep, this show will be it. But that's it for today. Hopefully I can come out with more content soon and not fucking think it's like one day and it's like a week later. Losing track of time and what's happening. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye. God, that show made me tired. Like, genuinely talking about that show, reliving it, like, literally, I'm yawning. I'm like, I was wide awake before I started this, I promise.
Just remember this. We could have been stardust, same world, but without